Welcome to BrandKnew, Atif. Thank you for doing this. Let's begin by asking, how did you start? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've landed in Dubai 17 years ago and been working for 20 years in construction. I like to call myself a construction worker. That's how I like to be known. It's an exciting industry, and I feel it really humbles you because you never know enough in this industry. Trying to do something innovative, something different in real estate industry. That's what I am, a construction worker trying to do something different. Yeah.
Lovely. And obviously, over the years, the passion shows you've spent more than 2 decades in the business, right?
Yeah.
What actually attracted you to that business in the first place?
See, to be honest, I know only three things. I can make a cup of tea, I can make Maggie, and I can make buildings. So it's more of a compulsion that I'm into this industry, and I think I related back to my childhood, how I was trained in construction. How my grandfather taught me construction. It really attracted me. In fact. Though I studied computer engineering, but I was back in construction because that's where I felt my passion is. And I feel it's a very noble industry because you get the chance to build someone's home or someone's workplace. And it's very exciting. It's something new every time, something different, and at times challenging as well. But that's the most exciting part about construction.
You took a big leap of faith, right? When you launched Oro 24 some months back. And it takes a lot of inspiration, motivation to take that moonshot.
Yeah.
Would you want to share some of that?
Yeah, see, I'm a firm believer that Dubai is not for regional or even global comparison today. Dubai, for me, is in the top three of the world, and it's very important that as individuals and as businesses, we align ourselves with the vision of this great city. Because when you look at anything, I feel, to be very honest, I feel embarrassed and ashamed to talk about Dubai because Dubai doesn't need introduction anymore. And when you're looking at a city of that scale, which is right at the top, at the helm of things in global comparison, I think it's important that we transform as businesses and as individuals, which becomes mutually beneficial. And hence I said, let's try something different, something unique. So that's how Oro 24 happened, with a vision of creating more diversified and innovative real estate.
Exactly. It beautifully dovetails into the next question that I want to ask you, Atif. What is the brand positioning that you thought of when you launched Oro 24, and how we're planning to be different from other established real estate brands in the market?
Yeah, see that's where the crux or the philosophy of Oro 24 lies. Being different. I think when you look at any business, the opportunity is in the gap. And I find there's a lot of gap, a lot of opportunity in the industry. So it's more diversified. It's led by tech and artificial intelligence, the businesses. And as the name suggests, it's Oro 24. Oro is the Italian of gold, and 24 karat is the purest form of gold that you can get. So my vision was to create from the city of gold, 24 karat gold real estate, diversified into 5 different verticals, which includes affordable housing, premium luxury, cohabitation, hospitality, and business park. What we're trying to do different here is focus on innovative real estate, come up with solutions that has not been yet attended and yet is a need within the consumer segment. So that's how Oro 24 is.
We are in a marketing-dominated world now, and what kind of marketing, branding, promotion plans have you planned for Oro 24 to kind of get to that level wherein you establish seasoned brand equity, customer respect, customer trust, and traction?
See, in that, I believe your marketing, your branding is your work. I'm a firm believer in that. Yes, there is no doubt that you need to do communication. That's how I look at marketing. I've never looked at it as an expense. I've always looked at marketing as an investment, which actually creates the brand equity. But at the same time, while you are taking your brand to the consumer, I think most important marketing or branding that you can do for your business is through your work. That is what creates what we've always known, age-old word of mouth marketing, word of mouth brand. And that is absolutely rock solid. You cannot shake that brand. And when people are talking about your business in a good way, that means you are really touching people's life. You are helping consumer meet their needs. And when that is happening, you don't have to really worry about branding. I give this analogy a lot of times when you had the biggest of the bigs, the Sony Ericssons and the Motorola's and the Siemens doing the mobile business. Nokia came from nowhere as an absolute unknown brand and knocked out some of the biggest in the world. And that's what work, a product, a service can do.
Absolutely, absolutely. If it is not a secret, and if you could let us in on that, do you want to share about Oro's first project? Anything that is, maybe if it's not in the public domain, maybe you can give us an indication of it, or maybe a teaser, as they call it in Bollywood.
No, okay. As we stand right now, we're very, very close to launching our first project. The first project, thank you. And the first project is something stellar. It's loaded with amenities. It's got 620 apartments. Amenities in the project includes badminton. Hang on, I'll have to count them. There's so many of them. So they've got badminton courts, paddle tennis. You've got a massive pool and a kids pool and a plunge pool and a lazy river and 3 islands and a party hall and a health club and also squash court and outdoor cinema and a 155-meter long jogging trail and something new we have come up with, pet zone. And it comes with a combination of studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. It's a gated complex. Don't ask me about the location, the price. I'll rather leave it for the launch, but it's a stellar project. It's a gated complex, and I'm pretty sure and very confident that people are going to love it.
Excellent, excellent. All the best with that,
Thank you.
Atif.
Thank you.
Given the volatility of the real estate market, do you think, and you're a seasoned veteran in this, having spent more than 2 decades, do you see off-plan as a secure business model going into the future?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I feel off-plan real estate is model for the consumer segment, and especially so when you're talking about the mid-income segment, because unfortunately yet the bank financing is not as liberalized where it finances off-plan buildings, and it's not easy for a normal man or a middle-class individual to go and acquire real estate. So it gives you that liberty to buy a brand new real estate with latest amenities, updated real estate, and you have a period of time, say 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, or 4 years, depending on the life cycle of the project, the construction cycle of the project, to arrange the payment for the project. So it doesn't really pinches your pocket. You're able to acquire a real estate. And I'm extremely confident that there's a huge opportunity in the off-plan segment and real estate in general in Dubai.
Lovely. I think great to see that kind of buoyancy and confidence that you have. And I think as a developer, as a pioneering real estate player, you must have it actually. Those are some of the soft skills that you need, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So would Oro 24 be defining an audience? Is it only specific to, say, mass or uber premium, or you have an audience that cuts across all socioeconomic strata?
No, as I mentioned, I want to keep it diversified because why leave an opportunity? Because there's an opportunity in every market segment. So that's why it's diversified across 5 verticals. It is dealing with affordable housing segment, which has been pretty much my forte in over the last 2 decades, and also going into premium luxury, cohabitation, hospitality, and business park. And I see a great amount of opportunity in each one of them. So it's not like we want to really stereotype it for a certain class of property. We want to, there's opportunity across all segments, and we want to attend each one of them. And the idea is not about, this business is not modeled about just creating some revenue and achieving some bottom line. No, I'm a firm believer. Bottom line is just a byproduct. It depends on the kind of business that you have performed, which leads to the bottom line. So we're more focused on the quality of business that we are going to do in each of these diversified segments. And of course, it liberalizes the business, it de-stresses the business if it is diversified. So that's the objective behind the diversity of Oro 24.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
So this is maybe it's called as one word or two words, oversupply. There is something that is bandied about most of the time in the real estate space. What is your thought on this, Atif?
It's probably the favorite word of media and a lot of they say it's as synonymous to Dubai as you would think about beaches, isn't it?
Right.
The moment you think about Dubai, I think you
Sunsancy and oversupply.
oversupply, exactly. But the funny thing is that the risk of oversupply looms in every city and every vertical,
Yeah.
and especially so in real estate, because find me one research firm which can go and predict the exact population that will be residing in a certain city. It's not possible, because due to different geopolitical, socio reasons, there would be shift in population. Now, that means that you never know what the requirement or the demand is going to be, and hence you can't really predict or restrict the supply. And I'm of the belief, people call it a capitalist mindset, but whether we like it or not, that's what exists in the trade world, and that is what mobilizes economy. That is what creates the momentum for any economy worldwide. I would rather worry about demand rather than worrying about oversupply. The reason being, there could be, as I said, risk of oversupply anywhere in the world for any business vertical, but there's never oversupply of a good product. And when the market is under stress, what happens is people migrate from the inferior product to the better product. In terms of real estate, people move from inferior locations to better locations, inferior properties to better properties. They upgrade the lifestyle. So, I mean, there's so many factors which actually derives the demand of real estate. You can never be sure, number one. And number two, even if you were sure, I think there will always be risk of oversupply, but there will never be risk of oversupply of a good property. There will never be, a good property will never be in oversupply. And that's where you focus on creating good real estate and focus on creating demand.
That's very well articulated, Atif.
Yeah.
Forward integration, one of those management terms, and a lot of the real estate brands and players have been getting into branded hotels, service apartments, I think shopping complexes, etc., etc. What's your vision? Is Oro 24 heading in that direction? Would it be heading in that direction?
I totally agree with that, but I don't find going into hospitality or branded residence as a forward integration, because that's a different vertical altogether. For me, forward integration of this business, if I was dealing with residential property, is the management of that residential property, which not just here, but across the globe, I feel there is a huge opportunity, because there are a lot of challenges to find the best facilities management, property management, asset management with the quickest turnaround time and at the lowest price. So yes, we are focusing on forward integration because that's a huge business opportunity, and it also creates a unique edge for our consumer when they know that we are not just delivering the property, but we are going to manage it as well. So it resides in our business plan. In fact, that is one of the business vertical that we are carefully planning and putting together. And at the same time, we are having diversified into other verticals, which includes branded residences and hospitality projects as well.
So that's, I think it's well thought out. It's almost end-to-end handholding.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Right?
Kind of a turnkey solution,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also with the fact that, I think we as the manufacturer or the builder of that real estate know how best to manage that asset, isn't it? So that's the thought process behind it.
My next question, Atif, is actually inspired by your strapline, Destination Real Estate. Okay. What do you think could be done further to make this place a very, very far more intense, serious destination for real estate?
I think we have to look at an ecosystem. Dubai has many advantages today, whether you look at the infrastructure, you look at trade liberalization, you look at immigration reforms, you look at, and of course, the other USPs of Dubai, which always was there, like you have all year sun and the lifestyle, the shopping, the safety, and everything else. I think over a
Ease
period
of
of
doing
time, ease
business.
of doing business, which is through the trade liberalization, as I mentioned, and also you see a transformation in the education and healthcare sector. So everywhere things are happening. I feel at the same time, we always try to look at what we can improve upon. And I think if there's a liberalization on the real estate financing, and also a unified city planning, which is able to deliver even better master plans of the community. I think these two areas can have a huge impact and can act as a very big catalyst for the real estate industry in Dubai.
I think that's well said, well spotted, good insight there. Atif, no conversation would be complete in the current context if we don't talk about Expo
Oh yeah.
2020, right? And so, with paying its due respect to Expo, what do you think? What has it done in terms of altering the landscape for the real estate market in Dubai, in the UAE?
I think when you look at the expo, the fact that it is happening, and the backdrop of a pandemic which literally stalled the entire world, speaks about the ability of Dubai more than anything else. I was very sure. I'd seen the Shanghai Expo, I'd seen the Milan Expo. I was fortunate to visit the expo site a couple of times while it was under construction. And I was extremely confident and sure that Dubai's Expo is going to be the best ever. And that's what happened. Not just in terms of the ecosystem and the infrastructure that was created, but to pull it off in the backdrop of a pandemic which had stalled the entire world with absolute uncertainty. I don't think anyone else had the ability except Dubai. The reason, because Dubai's culture is making impossible possible. Dubai is about why wait for the future? Let's create the future today. That's how His Highness Sheikh Mohammed has been. And I think hats off to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, all the other leaders and the government agencies to pull off such a big event, massive event under the backdrop of pandemic. I also feel that it's very different to an Olympic or a FIFA World Cup because it's not just for leisure and entertainment where people come, see the place and go. These are trade events. So what it did was it, alongside redefining the ability or reinforcing the ability of Dubai on the global scale of pulling off such a massive event, it also showcased the infrastructure of Dubai. I think largely Dubai was marketed showing the high rises of Sheikh Zayed Road and Marina and Burj Al Arab and Burj Khalifa. Well, Dubai is much more than that. Dubai is a comprehensive city. It's a sustainable city. It's a resilient city. It has one of the best infrastructure. And that is what got showcased to these people who had heard about Dubai but never visited. And when they came to Dubai, they saw a stellar of a city. And that's where you will see more and more businesses wanting to enter Dubai. The ability to access the Middle East, the MENA region of business, which is sitting with in excess of 450 or 500 billion dirhams. 450 to 500 billion dollars. So that gives an opportunity to these global businesses to have their headquarters and position themselves in Dubai and access this massive untapped market of the Middle East. And Dubai has only reinforced its reputation by doing the expo.
Fantastic. Absolutely. I completely concur with you. Finally, before we conclude, what is your definition of success, Atif? And also, if you can just take the audience through who are the people that have inspired you in life, both personally and professionally?
But success is just a byproduct, and what's more important is the journey that takes you to the success. While it will definitely look very glamorous and attractive to look at any success, but when you look behind the success, what has gone into making that success is the most important thing. I think the fundamentals of being successful, it requires a lot of hard work, integrity, and in my opinion, anything that is done without passion can never reach the pinnacle of success. I think it also involves a lot of sacrifices. I remember and it reminds me of so many sacrifices. I mean, missing out on personal moments, excitements, adventures, amusements, and many things, that you would have to sacrifice to be successful. And also, it's very important how you're able to handle failure, because you can never be successful without failing. And anyone who's successful without failing would not know how to hold that success, how to make it sustainable, how to ensure that success is maintained and it's held together. I think it's important to fail, and in that journey of success, it will happen, and it also is defined by how quickly or how efficiently, how strongly you were able to bounce back every time you failed. So that is what success is. If you talk about inspiration, I hold three people who are I think for me, they're icons, and they're the biggest inspiration for me. They have had the biggest impact in my life. My grandfather, who taught me construction. I mean, he built from stadium, bridges, secretariats to colonies to everything you can think of. And growing up with him actually taught me construction and also lifestyle. He was a very, very tasteful man. My father taught me the importance of hard work and honesty. And I think the most inspirational leader in the whole world, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, he taught us how to never ever give up. He taught us that you can create a beautiful city that the entire world will be looking at in less than 2 decades from
be
nothing.
proud of.
Exactly. And why it's very interesting is because, when you look at Dubai, Dubai won 2 World Cups. It was the economic crisis when the entire world was suffering. The first city to bounce back was Dubai, and the second World Cup was a pandemic. When the entire world was shut down, the first city to bounce back was again Dubai. And I think I every time I fail, every time I feel that I am losing or I'm going to fail and it might not happen, I remind myself of a video clip. I distinctly remember how His Highness Sheikh Mohammed was giving this interview to a British journalist back in 2009, if I remember correctly. And the question asked to him was, why do you want everything today? What is the rush? Why are you in so much of a hurry? And his answer was just 2 words. And he looked at the journalist with his head high and said, why not? And I never forget that. That becomes a big inspiration every time I'm failing. So I think these 3 people have had their legends. My grandfather, my father, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, they've inspired me a lot.
That's a beautiful way to conclude, Atif. Thank you so much. And talk about success, just to borrow, you triggered this thought. Ryan Holiday wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talk about tenacity, resilience, how to bounce back, whatever it is. Some of the biggest leaders in the world have actually bounced back using obstacles as a motivation.
Oh, yes.
All right. So fantastic. It's been a very, very stimulating conversation, Atif.
Yeah. Loved it. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.